Looking to add a Saucony running shoe to your lineup, but just not sure which one to choose? Well, I got you covered. Well, I'll be going over the Triumph 18, the Kinvara 11, and the Ride 13. What's poppin'? Jordan Thomas here, and I have a dope video today featuring some of Saucony Running shoes' latest offerings. Look, low-key, Saucony has been crushing it all year long, and so I wanted to spend some time highlighting a few shoes that are in their standard running lineup. So shout out to Roadrunner Sports for sending me over the Triumph 18, the Kinvara 11, and the Ride 13. Now, two things I want to call out about these three particular shoes. One, these are all going to be neutral trainers. Two, all of these shoes are pretty much broken in from day one. And I don't know if Saucony recognizes that they're making a shoe that good from day one, but I want to make sure that I highlight that when it comes to these particular shoes. Now, let's jump into, first of all, the soon-to-be released Saucony Triumph 18. This is going to be your max cushioning offering from Saucony. This is truly a luxury trainer, beginning with the outsole, which is high levels of rubber, super durable, little bit of exposed midsole foam here. Then you've got Power Run Plus, which is going to be the actual midsole. You've got these perforations going along the sides. You've got plenty of foam also in the heel as well as in the toe area. Moving on to the upper, you're going to get a lot of security in terms of the way this shoe feels up against your foot. Generous toe box, secure heel lock, whole lot of tongue, and you get these velvety laces. This is the shoe you pick up when you're going to run easy. You don't care too much about the overall pace, and maybe even for your longer days where you just want to run and just rack up the miles. Now, the two cons that I would bring up about this particular shoe, one, this shoe does not go fast very well because there's so much cushioning, because there's so much of upper. Running strides or trying to do speed work in these shoes, I would suggest that you shy away from that. And then the other thing is this upper gets warm fast. It's August, that's just something to keep in mind. Also, I want to shout out my girl Run Like Heller, who did an awesome job on the Triumph 17, and I'll put a link in the description to her review. Now, on the total opposite side of the spectrum, you've got the Kinvara 11. This is going to be your lightweight, faster type of option. And one of the things you notice looking right at the outsole is you've got a whole lot of exposed foam and super minimal rubber. This to me screams faster type of shoe. How do we keep this shoe as light as possible? And all of this foam that you see exposed here is going to be your standard Power Run midsole. Not as cushiony as Power Run Plus, but decently cushioned. And with this shoe, you're getting this 4mm offset, which to me also once again screams faster day. Next, you've got the upper. This upper is very lightweight, super breathable. You've got a little bit less room in the toe box compared to something like the Triumph, but it is still fairly wide, which I've found as be pretty consistent when it comes to Saucony shoes. You've got these flat lay laces, as well as you've got a nice secure lock in the heel. My guy Jamie did a review on these earlier in the year. I'll be sure to put a link in the description to that. Check those out. The two cons for me, it's really hard to have cons with this shoe, but the two things I'll just point out is that there's so little rubber in here that you're definitely going to run through these literally a lot faster. Also, these are just so lightweight that I think running anything more than 4 to 6 miles in these shoes is going to be challenging. However, if you're looking to do 5Ks or 10Ks, that's about as much as I would go in this particular shoe. The one that's right in the middle is the Ride 13. And so starting with the outsole, you've got a decent amount of rubber here, less than the Triumph, but more than the Kinvara. You've got Power Run midsole throughout this shoe, not as much cushioning in the toe or in the heel area, but for those of you that don't like max cushioning shoes, then this shoe is pretty much going to be a godsend for you. The upper seems to be like a medium level of overall cushioning. In the heel, the toe box is pretty generous. And then you've got these pseudo velvet laces. This shoe pretty much is like no frills. If you're just looking for just like a standard training shoe, this is it. Not a lot of innovation from what I can tell. And that to me actually is one of the cons in this shoe, is that there's just not a lot going on, like where the Kinvara does speed really well, or the Triumph 18 does max cushioning really well. This shoe is supposed to be something that would be considered more like a everyday type of trainer. For me, an everyday type of trainer is something that I can do like say 80% of my runs in. I found this shoe to be fairly limited in terms of the range of paces. I found that it did best at kind of like 10K through long run type of paces. And that for me just doesn't represent a large enough range. The other thing is that this upper does tend to get pretty warm, and so you're getting this warmer shoe that doesn't cover as long of a range, and so that's something that I would just keep in mind when you're purchasing this shoe. Now, before I give you my recommendation on which shoe I think you should choose, let me know in the comments. I've given you the rundown on 3 different shoes, like based off of your needs, your running rotation, what's the shoe that you would add to your list? Now for me, it's going to be the Triumph 18. I was roughly putting in 30 to 40% of my mileage in the Triumph 17. I didn't even get a chance to review them because I was just enjoying them so much, and I thought I was going to just, build up miles and then do a longer term review. And then these came out, and I started putting in 30 to 40% of my running in these. Now, the dope thing about this shoe is that it is a luxury type of trainer, so you're getting all these like higher end type of items, and it justifies $150 that you would spend on this shoe. The next thing you want to keep in mind is that for me, I see this shoe definitely lasting through about 400 miles. Yes, it gets a little warm. Yes, I don't want to run fast in these shoes, but you just want to put on a shoe that makes you feel good and that feels good on your feet. This is the one that I would recommend. So if you found any value in this video, please be sure to give me a like. If you want to check out some more about running shoes, check out this playlist here, or check out this recommendation from YouTube. And I'll see you next time. Jordan Thomas, peace.